Yeah. Hey everybody, it's Camping Kelsey here, and we are just finishing up a weekend of camping, so we are washing up dishes, and I like to talk to you guys while I'm washing the dishes. Let's call these camping conversations. I think our whole family is in agreement on the fact that this campground was not necessarily our favorite. There just really isn't a lot to do here. I have a least favorite campground in Indiana that is just kind of like an open parking lot, and I've had friends that are like, oh, I just love it here, and I didn't care for it. So concrete fire pits here, which are lovely and beautiful, but like a weekend like this, they don't disperse heat very well. So if you don't want your fire to keep you warm and you just want to look at it and have a pretty fire, that's lovely. So we were in the Upper Peninsula 2 years ago now, and they had these big raised fire pits. It was early August, so it was pretty warm, and at that point in time we didn't really think about the fact that it didn't disperse heat because we didn't need the heat. We just basically needed it to look pretty and cook our food. So we were excited about that when we pulled in, and then we made the fire and we realized that, you know, you're sitting at this level and your heat is at this level. So something that we hadn't thought about, but we ended up thinking about this trip. We are a family of 5 as we travel, and we travel with a small dog. Just kind of gives you an idea about what we're looking for when we go camping. Kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking for when we go camping. We want kid friendliness, we want pet friendliness. We like to have space at our campsites. So we do a lot of state parks because when you camp at like more privately owned campgrounds, from what we have found, the campsites are pretty much on top of each other. And this state park in particular, it was also that way. So that's not something you typically find at a state park, but it was at this location. So we're not a huge fan of that. I don't really want to hear my neighbors' conversations or have them smell my farts. So we like some space. We like space for the kids and the dog to be able to play. However, we are proper pet owners, and we do keep our pet on a leash at all times. It's for her safety, and I would say the safety of others, but our dog doesn't have any teeth, so I don't know that that's necessarily true, but we do respect when others who have large dogs that have teeth also leash their pets. That was not a fart. That was my husband putting up the jacks on our camper. We are getting ready to go. We're really good. Everybody has their jobs and functions as we shut down for camp, and our family's really good about who does what, and we've all just kind of adapted to the process of closing up camp. We really like to make sure that everything is cleaned because we have a little over 2-hour drive home. So after riding in the car and then getting home to do all this work would just feel like maybe a daunting task at that point in time. Obviously there is still work that has to be done when we get home. The camper has to be unpacked, and we do occasionally my husband will wash the outside. I don't think we're going to do that this time, but especially if we've stayed somewhere where there's a lot of sap or tree pollen or droppings and stuff, we definitely want to get that off there. Our camper lives in a lean-to, so it is nice and covered, but we like to protect our investments, as my husband calls it, and he's pretty anal about these things. So we make sure that we are taking care of everything before we get home. I take care of the inside, he takes care of the outside, much like our regular house chores as well. But and the kids are all just kind of used to what we do, so everybody just jumps in and gets it done. This park in particular, we found it was kind of loosey-goosey, kind of strange. When I was walking around this morning, I noticed that it seemed as though, let's get these dishes put away in their proper places. It seemed as though a lot of the people here were city people. We are not city people. So I don't know how to say to make it sound nice, but like people who want to kind of like feel like they were outside for the weekend. And not necessarily do a whole lot, but hang out at the campsite, whereas we really prefer to go and do if we're camping. So that's it. We are all done cleaning up. We've got our dishes done, and we are just getting ready to get everything mopped up. We do have like a little hand vac that we sweep everything before we go. And then we run a Swiffer, which I don't really love Swiffers because of like the chemicals and things like that. So I don't typically use one in my own home, but in the camper, it's just really quick and easy not to have a mop bucket. If there is something out there that people use, let me know. So we're just getting cleaned up. This was our campsite for the weekend. Like I said, the campsites are pretty close together, and then they had these that are really pretty, but they, like I said, they don't disperse heat very well. So that's it. I travel a little heavy with my Bible bag and my regular purse, so I could probably condense those, but typically I like to take my Bible bag out in the morning and sit around the campfire. Are you all packed up and ready? We won't go camping now for another 2 weeks. We've got some huge camping trips planned this summer. We will be headed out west. But so this is actually our 4th camping trip, and while it is sunny right now and it seems rather mild, over this weekend we spent a lot of time indoors. We are in Michigan, so the lake temperature was about 44 degrees. The air temperature was approximately 49 degrees, but the feels like temperature was 39 degrees. So it was pretty cold here. And we don't typically stay in when we go camping. Could you hand me the dog's duffel bag, please? Come here. Yes, we travel with our dog in a duffel bag. She actually loves it. And when we are not doing anything, like I'll leave this open and she just hops right in there, but our dog only weighs 5 pounds. So if your dog weighs 5 pounds, I suppose it is okay for them to sleep in a duffel bag. Okay, so we are getting all ready to go. I was pretty dirty, huh, kiddo? There's a garbage bag right there. You can put that in. Just lay it on the rug until you're ready to put the mop over by the refrigerator while you're waiting. My son loves to run the power tools. He's essentially doing nothing, but he is learning as he experiments. I once had a mentor who would call toddlers and preschoolers little scientists. So we're definitely in that current phase of life where they are doing their experiments. It is a lovely morning this morning. We are all packed up. We've got to take the jacks out and the stabilizers. Actually, jacks are up, stabilizers need to come out, and our leveling blocks also need to come out. The site here was actually pretty level. There have been some that we have had to drop the front way down low or raise it up really high, and we still weren't level enough. So the site was pretty level, but all in all, there just really wasn't much to do here. It was pretty dirty, sites were pretty condensed, and just with the colder weather, maybe if it wasn't so cold this weekend, we would have been able to explore, but our motto is it's a good time or a good story, and we did have some good family time.
Forward a little bit, get them back ones off.
If you enjoyed this video, comment down below. If you didn't, that's fine too. No hate, no shade.